True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report.
I have information the Dodgers front office would rather not get out right now. It involves a huge name, a multi-million-dollar contract, and a decision that's already been made behind the scenes. What they're planning will define our title hunt. If you want the secrets shaping the Dodgers' future, subscribe now because you won't hear this anywhere else. Hello, Blue Crew, and welcome back to True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report, your channel for the hottest news and most in-depth analysis on our Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm your host, and today I'm bringing you an exclusive piece of news that's been circulating behind the scenes in the league. One of those moves that defines a franchise's direction in the pursuit of a title. Before we dive deep into it, if you value information straight from the source, analysis that goes beyond the box score, and want to stay ahead of all Dodgers news, do yourself and our channel a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Believe me, you won't want to miss what's coming, especially with the trade deadline approaching. Let's get straight to the point. In the last few hours, a buzz has taken over trade conversations, linking the Dodgers to a major name, a future Hall of Famer, St. Louis Cardinals third baseman Nolan Arenado. The idea of adding a 10-time Gold Glove winner, a player with an impeccable defensive reputation, naturally excites any fan base. However, the information I'm receiving from reliable sources both inside and outside the organization paints a very different picture. The news I have for you exclusively is that the Dodgers at this moment are not interested in pursuing a trade for Nolan Arenado. And the reason for this is multifaceted, strategic, and in my opinion, the correct decision for the short-term and long-term health of the franchise. To understand this stance, we need to dissect the situation from two perspectives, Los Angeles's and St. Louis's, starting with our home front. The third base position for the Dodgers has a first and last name, Max Muncy. I know Muncy is currently on the injured list with a bone bruise, which always causes anxiety. However, the internal reports are optimistic. The expectation is that he will return well before the end of the regular season, in time to get his rhythm back for the postseason. Before the injury, Muncy was being Max Muncy. He was hitting .250, but with a robust .55 OBP on base percentage and 480 slugging, numbers that generate a well above average OPS plus for the league. He had already accumulated 15 home runs and continued to be one of the most patient and disciplined presences at the plate, drawing walks and wearing down opposing pitchers. This is a characteristic that our analytical philosophy values immensely. Muncy is not the defender that Arenado is. No one disputes that. But he is a competent defender at third base and offers a left-handed power bat that crucially balances our lineup. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The contract. Max Muncy will become a free agent at the end of this season. The decision not to pursue Arenado is an implicit vote of confidence in Muncy. The front office, led by Andrew Friedman, is essentially saying, we are happy with Max, we believe in his recovery, and we are confident we can re-sign him for a value that makes sense for us. Bringing in Arenado would mean not only giving up on Muncy, but also taking on a gigantic financial commitment. And what a commitment that would be. Nolan Arenado is still owed $74 million on his contract, which extends through the end of the 2027 season. For a player who will turn 35 next season, that's a very high-risk investment, especially considering the recent trends in his offensive performance. And here, we need to be brutally honest and look at the numbers, setting aside the name and reputation for a moment. This season, Arenado is batting .254, 303, .389. His OPS is .692, a number significantly below the league average for a player at his position, and frankly, an unacceptable figure for someone with that salary. His 10 home runs and 41 RBIs are middling. The decline is real and concerning. His barrel rate, the percentage of batted balls with the ideal combination of exit velocity and launch angle, is at a career low. He's hitting more ground balls than ever, and his hard hit percentage has also dropped. The defense remains elite, of course. The Gold Glove is practically his every year. But would the Dodgers be paying $74 million for a glove while his bat produces like a utility player's? The front office's answer is a resounding no. Andrew Friedman and his team are masters of value assessment. They pay big, as we saw with Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but they pay for elite talent in their prime or entering it. They rarely, if ever, take on heavy contracts for players on a clear downward curve. The Arenado trade will go against every principle that has made this organization a model of sustainability and success. The interest that existed in 2023, according to sources, was exploratory. At that time, the Cardinals were in a clear selling situation, and the Dodgers, as always, did their due diligence. Perhaps they believed Arenado's decline was an outlier, or that the acquisition cost in prospects and money assumed would be more palatable. A year later, the landscape has changed. The offensive decline has steepened, and the contract is 1 year shorter but proportionally heavier. For the Cardinals, the situation is a dead end. They are stuck with a contract that has become an albatross, limiting their flexibility to rebuild or retool the roster. The truth is, the market for a player with this production versus salary profile is extremely limited, perhaps non-existent. The Dodgers know this and have no interest in being the solution to St. Louis's problem. Before we get into the second part of this breakdown, which is where the Dodgers' true championship strategy reveals itself, I need to take a quick pause. If you've made it this far, it's because you truly care about this team. You're not here for shallow headlines. You want to understand the moves that define championships. If you are truly a fan of the Dodgers at heart, if you're part of the Blue Crew, then show your support and ensure you never miss a crucial piece of intel like this. Subscribe to our channel now. It's the best way to always stay on top of everything happening with the Dodgers. Do it now, and let's continue. So if the answer to Arenado is no, what is the question the Dodgers front office is trying to answer? The answer is clear, resounding, and urgent. Pitching. By deciding not to allocate tens of millions of dollars and a high-level prospect package on a third baseman, the Dodgers are conserving their capital, both human and financial, for what has become the team's most critical need. Our pitching staff, which looked so deep at the start of the season, has been absolutely devastated by an unprecedented wave of injuries. Let's do the roll call, and it's a painful list. Blake Snell, whom we brought in to be a pillar, is on the shelf. Tony Gonsolin, an all-star from 2 seasons ago, continues his long recovery. Gavin Stone, who was showing incredible potential, also landed on the injured list. And of course, the Japanese jewel, Roki Sasaki, whose transition to MLB was cut short by physical issues. This represents a huge chunk of our depth and our talent ceiling in the rotation. The team has remained competitive thanks to heroic performances from veterans and young players who have been thrust into the fire. But that is not sustainable for a 162-game marathon, and more importantly, for the intensity of October. The decision to pass on Arenado is a strategic move that signals to the rest of the league. We are in the pitching market, and we have the resources to make a big move. This year's trade deadline will be defined by the Dodgers' hunt for quality arms. What I'm hearing is that the front office is exploring all options. They aren't just focused on a 2-month ace rental, although that option is on the table if the price is right. They are looking for controllable pitchers, players who can be part of the rotation not just in 2025, but also in 2026 and beyond. This aligns perfectly with Friedman's philosophy of seeking long-term value, even in trade deadline moves. Names? It's early to speculate with certainty, but we can analyze the profiles. Think of teams that are out of contention and have talented young pitchers or consistent veterans on reasonable contracts. That's where the Dodgers' focus will be. And to get one of those arms, it will cost. Our farm system is still one of the best in baseball, but to acquire an impact pitcher, we will have to part with pieces we value. Prospects who are beloved by the Blue Crew today might be wearing another uniform in August. That's the harsh reality of chasing a World Series ring. By not taking on Arenado's $74 million, the Dodgers not only save valuable prospects that would be required in the trade, but also maintain crucial financial flexibility. This unspent money can be used to absorb the contract of a top-tier pitcher or to be aggressive in the next offseason, whether to re-sign our own players like Muncy or to attack the free agent market once again. Every dollar saved on a declining asset like Arenado is a dollar that can be invested in a rising asset or a critical need. It's talent portfolio management, and the Dodgers are the best in the business. This strategy demonstrates a macro vision, an understanding that the window of contention is not 1 year, but a decade. They are balancing the urgency to win now with the need to remain at the top for many years to come. The decision on Nolan Arenado is therefore much more than a simple choice between two third basemen. It is a declaration of strategy, a reaffirmation of identity, and a tactical pivot toward what truly matters for this team's title aspirations in 2025, the stabilization and strengthening of a decimated pitching rotation. In short, the Dodgers' refusal to pursue Nolan Arenado is the smartest play they could make. It's a disciplined, data-driven decision that avoids a problematic contract for a player in offensive decline, and more importantly, frees up all the necessary resources to attack the team's real weakness, the lack of healthy quality arms in the rotation. It's proof that the front office isn't swayed by big names, but by real value and projected impact. Now, I want to hear from you, Blue Crew. This is your team. Do you agree with the front office's strategy? Is passing on a future Hall of Famer like Arenado, even with his contract and decline, the right call? Or do you think the defensive upgrade and the big name would have been worth the risk? Who would you like to see the front office target to reinforce our rotation before the deadline? Leave your opinions, your trade targets, and your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the debate started. And if you haven't already, subscribe to True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report, and turn on notifications. I promise to bring you the fastest information and the deepest analysis to keep you ahead of the game. Thanks for watching, and let's go Dodgers!